welcome back to the Power 5 P5SL Proverbs podcast, where we break down the journey from youth sports to the pros. Whether you're a professional athlete, a young athlete, a parent, or just an overall sports fan, this is the right spot for you. I'm your host, MC Mike, and I'm joined as always by two Permian Basin coaching legends, Coach Norman, Coach A, and today's very special guest, Denise Norman. How are we all today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
We are blessed. There it is.
There it is.
We are blessed.
Right?
We are fresh off the induction ceremony of the Texas High School Hall of Fame induction. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to be recapping the ceremony and discussing how the impact of youth sports and community were really the bedrock of this year's inductees, and really what we can continue to do to build out that next class of inductees as well. But as always, we're going to start off with today's prayer. Coach A is going to lead us. Coach A.
All right. Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, again, we come to you as humble as possible. Father, with bowed heads and closed eyes, Father, thank you for the day. Thank you for last night's rest, Father. Thank you for another day that was not promised. Father, again, I ask that as we go through this podcast, Father, I ask that the words that we speak, Father, speak light to those that are around us. Allow them to hear your words through ours, Father. Use us as examples. Use us as tools, instruments to get to your people. I pray this in your Son's, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
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 I don't know, man. When you preach these prayers, Coach A, I get a little chill on my spine, man.
That'll work. It's all about communication. It's communication,
hits me, man.
Father.
I'd like to introduce our sponsor for the day. Introducing the Long Drink, the perfect way to celebrate victory. Good vibes, great friends, crisp and refreshing. For more details, go visit thelongdrink.com. The Long Drink, official sponsor of the Roundup Inc. and P5 Rally for Youth Pickleball Tournament.
All right, so we're going to jump into today's proverb, and Coach Norman's going to lead us off in citing this one, and then, of course, breaking it down for us.
Yes, sir. So today's proverb is Proverbs 12 and 22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. I guess I'll just jump right into it as far as my take on this. When it relates to these sports and youth sports that we talk about all the time, shoot, there's a bunch of lying lips out there. We see it sometimes through our children, through the athletes, through the parents, and through the coaches. I think if we're truthful in the things that we say and the things that we put out there, it'll be much better for us. We can even start with, starting with the kids. A lot of times we'll have kids that they may get a little nick or something like that, but then they feel like they can't go no more or something, and so they'll over exaggerate a injury or something like that,
right?
And then you get to the coaches. Shoot, coaches be out here lying about playing time. Yeah, your son gonna get to play all of this time, man. I think if you just be honest with them and let them know, whatever the case may be, and it may be true that they're gonna be playing a lot of playing time or whatnot, but I think if you're just honest with the parents and letting them know the expectations up front, then everything you'll be much better off.
Right.
And then even with the parents, shoot, there's a whole bunch of parents that come out there. We got practice today, coach. Oh no, we gotta do. They'll say something to make an excuse of why they can't come to practice that day. You know what I'm saying? And so I know it's other things that go on and everything, but shoot, man, just tell the truth, man. Just be truthful about it and take it on in.
Yeah, I would agree. And with that line, you helping your kids develop a habit.
Yep.
I mean, parents, coaches, those that have authority over our youth, they're watching us. So they're a sponge right now. So we're teaching them, and again, this Proverbs hit home to me. Lying lips, the situation for all athletes. If you lie to yourself, you start believing that lie, right? And then once you get into that box, it's hard to get out, because if you continue to read in another Proverbs, it talks about Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So what you speak out, what you hear, will become life or death. So if I'm going to continue lie about a situation, whether it's the smallest thing,
it'll be the smallest thing.
The smallest thing sometimes is what counts. Like, don't put your toes on the line. It's so small, but it's the foundation of who you are and what you represent.
What they call it, a white lie.
A white lie
I
is no
just
such
told a
thing,
little white
right?
lie.
And so I know for me and my son, there's a situation happening that he hadn't been truthful about his aspirations for the game or for school right now. But he's starting to believe that he can do something else, but he's caught up in the truth and the lie, right? And so it's causing his performance in the classroom and on the field. But we have to bring him back in and talk about it, and get the truth out and put them on a better road to success. And I think a lot of parents need to understand what they're doing when it comes to their kids and allow the lie to prevail.
Denise,
you have a take on this?
I'm listening. This is all great stuff. I mean, just overall, I think God is so good. He tries to prepare us and help us not go down these roads. So lying, I mean, when you lie, you're going to go down a road that you're going to regret even walking into, and I think that's first and foremost. But coming with youth sports, our youngest now is in junior high. So we're full in right now at the youth level. All the stuff that was going on at the youth level, it appears in junior high and high school,
right?
And so there's bigger consequences. And so I think it is important as parents to just be truthful with our kids and don't be afraid to say, you don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but let me find out. Like, let's find some resources, because there's a lot of that in parenting as your kids get older and become teenagers. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. And so don't quickly try to, a white lie or say something if you don't know. Just seek help. And it's better for the kids. It's better for them to adjust or readjust with the truth. And it's just going to help them and even your relationship as a coach or as a parent to just in that growth of whatever that athlete's trying to accomplish.
That I think is a real critical point, because one lie is never just one lie. It's sort of a compounded, foundation on top of each other. Whereas the truth, it's either it is or it isn't. But the simple fact of not knowing and then seeking out that knowledge, I think that's really a strong lesson to learn here. And it's funny because like when you guys were talking about the application of this to youth sports, I mean, I just kept thinking about like me as a offensive lineman when I played. I get penalized for holding, and then I'm like, I didn't hold, but I knew I held.
You sound like my brother, man, when he was holding me.
That's like a competitive reaction, I guess. Is it a full blown lie? I mean, I guess in some regard, I'm not going to go up to the official and say, yes, you got it, I'm telling the truth. And, thank you for calling me on this hold that cost my team, 10 yards or whatever. But I think that what we're talking about today is a little bit deeper. I would actually argue that it's a little bit more off the field than in the competitive environment on the field. And it is an important lesson, because again, you start diving down this rabbit hole of lie over lie over lie. Before you know it, you don't even know which lies are real and which ones are lies anymore.
Right.
Absolutely. And let's stop lying to these kids too.
What do you mean by not lying? Stop lying to them.
Let's stop lying to these kids and giving them a false sense of reality. It dropped to 1% this year. 1% of people out of college make it to the NFL. 1%.
Right.
And it's even lower than that for basketball players. because you have less people on the team. You know, you got like 15 man roster or whatnot. So I man, like for so long we tell people, and this is just the way I feel about it, but we tell people you can do anything you put your mind to, or you can do whatever you set out to do. Man, honestly, I don't really believe that. Like, I believe you can strive to be the best person you can be to do a thing, but you know, if we just saying we can be anything we want to be and all of that, like I can never be an Air Force pilot because I got bad eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's things that we can't do, so to speak, but we lie to these kids and tell them they can do all of these things and stuff. Man, I think we should be encouraging and breaking it down in a way that's not demeaning, you know. Because I feel like we can tell a kid something, you know, we can, you know, for instance, say, man, you know, you really not good at catching the ball, man. We need to work on that. Let's work on catching the ball. But until the end, we're gonna put you over here at the defensive back position where you don't have to worry about it, but you have great feet, you got good speed, you know, stuff like that. So I mean, but we'll lie to them and say, oh man, you can do it, you keep on doing it. Yeah, work at it, yes. But
hold up,
at some point,
the ball hawk inside Coach A just came out. He was. You should have seen that face he made.
Like my best friend, the person that I grew up with playing football, like he just insulted me. It's almost like people in the choir that can't sing, they just push them to the usher board, right?
Hey man, I'm not saying you on the usher board. No, you can sing, man. You was in the Fab Five group.
Yeah. Hey, but to continue this, I also want to talk about how the coaches. We talking about how the coaches. A lot of these parents, and what way I want to explain is you have a lot of these coaches that are not able to really coach at the youth level, and they put these kids in a formation almost like an overload, and they just out formation. I wouldn't even say out formation. It's just out leverage another team. Yeah. And these kids are feeling like they're dominating. They're feeling like they're having so much success. The parents are hoo rah rah. But then when you get to the middle school age and it's time for them to learn, hey, you have to know if this linebacker is in a 2 or 3, you got to go to that. I'm sorry, a 20 or 30, you got to go here and you got to take this step. And they don't know that. But for this past couple of years, they've been told that they have been great at this position because they've been able to out leverage the other team. And this coach that has no idea what's going on has been put on this pedestal, and this organization is put on this pedestal because they have all the better players and having more success that way. So that in itself is a huge lie.
He ain't lying.
Well, he ain't lying. I went to a booster club meeting last night for junior high, and it was like incoming junior high kids, and one of the parents was like, you know, like how many kids can make the basketball team, or do they all have a opportunity? And the coach just told the truth. Probably about 24. We're gonna have a little over 100 kids try out, and we're gonna pick 24.
I mean, that's still a big basketball team.
And it was 2 teams.
Well, yeah,
so there's like an A team and a B team. But it was just like dead silence in there because it was like the first time that some parents are like, excuse me.
Yeah, because they coming from, especially going into 7th grade out here, that's our middle school. So they coming from the youth.
Yeah.
And seeing the thing all the time and being used to that. And then they get in the junior high and there's a whole different ball game.
It really is. So it's good to just, I think part of being honest is just telling your kids, you know, the truth and to work hard, the effort, all the factors that are going to come to play as they get older, so that they're not really blindsided, because it will change once they get out of that youth.
Well, you know, one of the, and we're going to sort of segue this into our discussion on the Hall of Fame induction. But, you know, at the event, which I was honored to be at, one of the more fascinating inductees, besides, of course, you, John, was Coach Traylor. And listening just to the way that he talks and answers questions and, describes his moment in the spotlight for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. You can tell. I mean, Coach Traylor, for those who don't know, is the head coach of University of Texas, San Antonio. He coached against Patrick Mahomes at the high school level. Very accomplished coach. But you can tell that he has the ability of only telling the truth. There is zero sugarcoating anything with Coach Traylor. And I got that from listening to him for 5 minutes during a press conference. So coaches need that guidance. They need that, I guess, North Star to look up to as far as who they're going to, sort of replicate their models after in order to get the best benefit out of the kids. Parents need it in order to obviously bring their kids down to reality and explain, look, this is what's real. This is what's not real. You still want to have fun. We still want to push you to excel and be the best that you possibly can be. But excel at what you're good at. Don't try to be a wide receiver when you have the body of a nose tackle, right? Like, there's realities to this as well. And I think we're only doing a disservice if we try to create this this fake reality that, and provide this false sense of hope, which I guess is lying, that anything is possible. Right.
Yeah, man. That when you were speaking on that, it reminded me of one of the guys that I watch, Myron Golden. Man, he talks about we were created by God, right? And so everyone was created by God, and but we were created in His image, right? But the cool thing about it is God put something special, a special gift in each and every one of us. But He did not put all the gifts in any of us. Like we have some gifts and you have some gifts, and they may be, some may be the same and some may be different. You know what I'm saying? But if we hone in on those gifts and use those gifts, then we'll be fulfilling what our purpose is here on earth. You know what I'm saying? And so that reminded me when you started talking about that, Mike, and then and being true to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That don't lie about it. Be true to ourselves and be true to who we are. And shoot, man,
and embrace that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Embrace those gifts, man. And it's funny you say that because man, we got a lot of kids out here that want to be, because everybody want to score the touchdowns. Everybody want to run the ball. Everybody want to throw the ball. They want to be the Patrick Mahomes and RG3s and stuff like that. But man, shoot, these linemen out here, they getting paid. Shoot, that first lineman that went in the first round to the Chiefs, left tackle. Shoot, these quarterbacks and stuff need somebody to protect them.
There is no Patrick Mahomes without those guys. In fact, when I was in very youth sports, that was actually brought up because we had like little media there covering the games. We see our names in the paper the following day, how many touchdowns and stuff. And as a lineman, the coach would say, "Look, you're never going to see your name in that paper, but just understand when you see your teammate's name, that's you, and that's all you, because without you, their name wouldn't be there." So just remember that. And, it always stuck with me. I mean, that's the fundamental building blocks of a team, right? You look at the way the Knicks are playing right now. I mean, Jalen Brunson's getting all these scoring opportunities, but the other four guys on the floor are spreading everything out to give him that opportunity to do it. Do they show up in the stat sheet? No, but they're going to get the same ring he does. Maybe.
Yep. Maybe.
Yeah, but anyway, let's stick to the topic at hand here, and let's talk a little bit about quite possibly one of the most prestigious, honorable, and incredible opportunities that I got to witness firsthand, which is watching you, John, enter into this elite class of the Texas High School Hall of Fame, class of 2025. Arguably, I guess, one of the best classes in history. I mean, I really just want to hear your take on it. I mean, I asked you a very simple follow-up question a couple days after the event. When did it actually sink in, man? Like, when did it become a reality for you that, all of a sudden you're enshrined forever there, man?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I believe it is a great class. I don't know if it's the best class. I know it's the biggest though. It's the biggest class that they enshrined into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame with 9 inductees. And to be honest with you, man, it really didn't sink in for me until, you know, we had that press conference. Even after that, you know what I'm saying? It was the whole event. I was just trying to be in the moment, and it was just a surreal moment for me. You know what I'm saying? I was really just thankful that, you know, I had so many of my family and friends there. You know, aside from the event, you know, just sitting around the fire pit or whatnot and sharing stories and stuff with family and everything. But another thing that I loved about it is, you know, so we all kind of stayed at the same hotel. You know, we had a host hotel or whatnot, and you know, the older guys that got inducted, one of them being Pat Thomas. Man, he's a great dude, man, out of Plano, Texas. Right. Played at Texas A&M University, and he was a 70s inductee.
Right.
And and then he ended up playing with the Los Angeles Rams at the time, and or was it the St. Louis Rams at the time? I think it was St. Oh, it was LA.
Okay, it was LA. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, you know, just hearing stories from him, you know, about playing against Earl Campbell, right, and Billy Sims and players like that, and how he used to have to go tackle them and all. Man, it was cool, man. Like I could sit down and listen to him speak all day. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast here pretty soon, man. But yeah, man, it was just a great event, man. It was you know, of course everybody wanted to see Patrick and RG3.
Not me. I was there for John Norman.
Me too.
No, I told her you was there because of me. But you wasn't there to see me. Nah, it's all good. No, but it was great, man. It was great, man. I made some connections like with Coach Traylor, like you said. You know, and you know, I think just being able to be in the same space as you know, people of that caliber or whatnot, from the great things that they did, you know, it just it's humbling and it's just shoot, I don't know, man. It's all kinds of emotions. That's why I got my shades on today, so y'all don't see them tears come down my eye.
I'll Photoshop them in later. Coach A, what was your take on it? I mean, obviously you were there, and you know, you got to witness a guy that you were literally in diapers with go up on stage and accept such a prestigious honor. I mean, you played with him for, you know, youth sports, high school, collegiate. I mean, you know, what did it mean from your perspective?
Well, you know, it was an honor. First and foremost, that he invited me to come down there with him. John has always been a person that if he has, those that are around him have as well. So him being honored, looking up and seeing how many people that was there to represent him at that, it was almost like a normal feeling. This is something that he's always done. Not one that's really wanting the limelight, but he does things that put him there. And when he's there, he does it well. That makes sense. So it was satisfying to see him receive that award and that honor, knowing all the things that he endured through life, off the field, family-wise, things that people don't know about him. And to see the approval of others to allow him to get that honor, if that makes sense.
Makes total sense. Denise, your husband, a father, a friend, a business owner, a community service member. I mean, I don't know how many different adjectives we can describe. You must look at this from a completely set of different prisms. I mean, can you give us your take? I mean, you were asked to stand up in that honor. While I saw a slight hesitation, but I believe that, you know, everything John said about you during that speech, you know, kind of led to that moment. What was going through your mind as you're up there taking all that in?
Just so proud of him. I mean, you always hear about the Normans, you know, coming out of Midland and football. And so I've always known that. And so when he was nominated a couple of times before and he wasn't selected. So it was kind of lingering. And so when he was actually selected, and then with the class he was going with, it was just a God thing. And it was incredible. And it really just solidified what people have already said and have known about him. But to be honest, it really didn't hit me. Like, people are like, oh my God, congratulations. I'm like, thank you. It's so exciting. I was asking John, like, how do you feel? It wasn't until I'm not going to get emotional. I'm about to cry.
Get some tissue.
It wasn't until I walked into the museum and I was talking to my sister, and it just hit me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like John's Rebel jersey, his All-American plaque that he received when he received that award, his picture are in this museum forever. You know, that's when it really hit me with so many greats from, you know, so many different eras of football. And so that's, I think, when it really just hit me, and just so happy for him and grateful. I mean, he's such a deserving person. And he excelled at many sports, not just football. So as an athlete, but also, like you said, someone that serves his community, serves his family. So just really happy that he was able to be here to see it and to you know, accept that with his family. Proud of
Definitely. So one of the things that really stuck out after hearing everybody's take about their experience and what led them to the moment, I mean, we're talking about high school sports, but I think if you sort of take away a lot of the detail of their presentations and you really summarize the commonality between all of them, it really is the value of what they were able to learn and love during the youth sports era. John, you've taken that to the next level to create that canvas here with everybody that's sitting next to you in this Power 5 ecosystem. What does that do as far as any sort of motivation or validation to prove to you that you're on the right track with this? When you hear all of these inductees basically explaining how important that stage of their life was for them and where it ultimately led them, either at the professional level, the elite coaching level in Texas high school football, collegiate football, whatever path they ended up on, where did the youth foundation really set in for them? And now you're building that potentially for the class of 2045. Like, what does all that mean to you as far as validation and I guess motivation?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if validation is what I would call it. I don't know the exact word for it, but you know, it's I just know, like Coach A was saying, I know the things that I went through as a youth. You know, coming from a broken home, my parents divorced when I was in 5th grade, and you know, and then my dad raised us. It was 3 boys, and you know, looking back on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I didn't know we was poor. You know what I'm saying? I just knew we had to get the lights cut on the you know, the next day or something. You know, we had to use candles that day.
Right.
Was it because of a storm, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's, you know, you don't think about those things at the time. You know what I'm saying? But even in the situation that I was in and how I grew up or whatnot, like, it's always somebody out there that has it worse off than you do.
Right.
I remember when I was teaching in Bunch Elementary, when I was teaching the 3 C's program, man, we had a kid. Man, he was a jovial kid, man. He come in, he's joyful, and he was just always happy. And I remember one day he came in and he wasn't his normal self. He was all quiet and all of that, and you know, and I noticed that throughout the class of that day. And after the class was over, I called him over to the side. Said, man, what's going on, man? You didn't seem like yourself today or whatnot. He was like, yeah, I got into a fight with my mom's boyfriend and he kicked me out the house last night.
Wow.
Like, we talking about sixth graders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We talking about
12.
a sixth grade kid who's 10 years old, and he getting kicked out the house. And I'm like, kicked out like, where did you sleep? Or what do you know? What?
Yeah.
But he still came to school the next day. And it's stuff like that, man, is why I do what I do, man, because it's a lot of kids out there that don't have all of the opportunities that we had, and nowadays, with technology and things expanding and stuff like that, shoot, I feel like we ought to be able to give those even opportunities that I didn't have growing up. You know what I'm saying? That we ought to be able to provide those opportunities for these kids now. Which is why we went with AYF. You know what I'm saying? The AYF is it's the largest football and cheer youth organization in the country.
Right.
And for kids to be able to get outside of Midland and get outside of the Permian Basin or just this area, and compete with other kids around the globe. Shoot, man, some people don't do that. Some people don't make it to college. First of all,
Right.
we were able to do it in college, but some people don't make it to college, and so that high school is that foundation, man. That a lot more kids gonna play high school than that's gonna play college or the pros.
Mm-hmm.
And so that high school foundation is so important, but I think it starts with us in molding the youth in the right way, so that they'll know how to handle different situations and things of that nature when they get to high school. So that's why I do what I do, man. It's about these kids, and just being able to provide the opportunities for them, man. That's what brings me joy.
Coach A, on that same note, we spoke, on a couple different episodes about the potential of bridging the gap between this youth sports level and even junior high leading up to the high school level, which obviously paves the way for their future, at least on the athletic side of things. Power 5 is growing not only on the football field, but in other sports. And obviously these high schools have other sports too. And there's obviously collegiate athletic programs. How can we, don't mean to put you on the spot, but, I know we've talked about this before and your eyes lit up when we did. So I'm throwing this in your court now. How can we continuously fuel this youth bridge into that next level, utilizing obviously this canvas and this opportunity in this league?
I think first and foremost, we have to have a better relationship with the high school coaches, with the administration downtown. There's things that we can do on the youth level that the high school coaches can't do just because of regulations and things of that nature. If we can bridge that gap, we can start cultivating a different climate, a different attitude towards sports. And also, if we can educate the coaches for the youth sports and get them on a different level where they understand and they know how to coach a team versus chasing the wins. And wins are important to a certain extent. Depends on what value you put on the win. Are you putting the value of the W in the win column, or that athlete that nobody wanted and you have taught them that position and they learn it well, so that you just set the foundation. So when they do go to middle school, those coaches are able to just build on that. And when they go to high school, because the reality of the whole thing, the middle school coaches with so many kids out there, they don't have enough time to help with development. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
Those that have the better understanding of the games are the ones that are going to get selected on the team and going to be the ones that are able to play more.
Yeah.
And the ones that are not just numbers, they're going to be what they call practice players. Practice players. So if we can come together as a community, as a city, and educate the youth coaches on the proper way of coaching, whether they on the purple side or the maroon side, and start using this as a form, raising these kids up, because that's pretty much the success. That's how we were successful.
Yeah.
Our coaches in the GMFL level taught us football, the whys, why we do this. And we were able to learn at a very young age how to counter actions that the other team would do and see the game from a coach's point without knowing exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the things that we can do to help us on the youth level to get better on the middle school and the high school level.
Or helping each other.
Each other. Yeah.
Shoot, because that reminds me of when you talked about when you was at Goddard, and you know, you have some kids that come in, like you could tell which ones had been coached properly versus the ones that, you know, maybe never played the game before or whatnot. And it helps you, like you said, y'all don't have time to put it, because you got to go to school, you got to do all of these different things.
Yeah.
And it helps y'all, you know, to where you don't have to put as much emphasis on building those ones that don't have as much experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think taking that a step further, because, you know, the sports can get you in the door, but how do you stay in the room? And as a mother, as a woman, and I say a woman because most of our teachers are women, they also need support at the youth level when it comes to character development. This goes into the 3 C's program that Power 5 has with Roundup. And just being able to combine the sports with the character development program to just help learn, you know, those different positive habits, you know, whether it's, you know, helping out around the house or being respectful to your teachers, to your parents, you know, those things go hand in hand. And, you know, I've seen so many times with kids throughout, you know, our years being with the youth, like, I'm going to call your football coach, you know, the teachers will say that.
Right.
And they'll straighten up, or sometimes John's done pop-ups and they're like, oh my God, my coach is here, you know, and so just being able to help. And that would be great to see, you know, across the Permian Basin, because we do have a love for football. It's Texas, you know, and we get that, but how can we also help our teachers and our parents and those kids that are being raised by grandma or single mom, you know, dad's incarcerated, or there's so many things going on. And yeah, you might have a kid that can run really fast and jump really high, but he has some emotional things that he needs help with. And so it doesn't matter how high he can jump or how fast he can run. If nobody's engaging into what's happening, you know, with his mental ability. And so it goes hand in hand. And I know y'all always talk about, or John always talks about, you know, that it's 100% mental with sports. And that is because there's stuff going on at home sometimes that aren't always, you know, good things. So I think it's important, and which we're really going to push, and we'll talk about, I think, with the upcoming fundraiser, to just really help pour into our character development program at Roundup to help these kids and their families just kind of help each other, and then in turn help the coaches and the teachers as they get older.
Yeah, because it does help. It does. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
No, go.
No, I was just gonna say it does help the parents as well. You know, you got a lot of single parents out there, or even if it is 2-parent households, man, it's still hard. You know, one might be working, and one, you know, they both might be working. You know, you never know. It's still a hard deal. But like some of the things that we do, you know, when I was coaching, and some of the things that we do, where we'll have the kids come, we'll get them up at the end of practice, and then we'll make them. They have to go do a chore at the house. They have to make their bed or take the trash out, doing something like that, you know, instilling this discipline in them early. And then they have to take a picture of it and send it to us, you know, send it to the coaches or put it in the group or whatnot. And you'll be surprised, man, on how many parents have came to me like, man, thank you so much. That really helped out and all of that. And it could spark something within the parents also to take it a step further in their everyday life and everyday, you know, interaction with their kids. But just creating that spark, you know, coming from the coaches or whatnot, man, it's so important for not only the kids but the parents too. I just want to make sure I said that, man, because yeah, we focusing on the kids, man. But when we focusing on the kids, we talking about the parents too and the family dynamic,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So,
Yep.
We talk a lot about, how on the field or on the court type of disciplines and responsibilities can be applied off the field or off the court. And I think that's really what makes a good teacher, a good coach, really being able to infuse that into, at this level, a youth athlete to apply in those particular real life settings. I mean, I used to tell my wife, like, life happens between Instagram posts, right? Like, you can pose and you can make it pretty, but the reality is that we live in this mire that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And, we have to perfect that too. That doesn't need to be public for everybody to see, but we need to focus on that as well. And if you think back, I mean, I'm old enough to, make this claim at this point. The most impactful coaches or teachers that I've had in my life didn't just teach me the fundamentals or teach me how to do math. Like, they had a different purpose that I was able to carry in a different sector of my day to day. And I think that, parents have that same impact, coaches, youth leaders, community members. I mean, these are the ones that'll have that everlasting impression, especially at a youth level like this.
Right.
But Denise, you brought up the pickleball tournament and what this really is doing for the community. I'd love to let you have an opportunity to introduce this, explain a little bit about how it came about, what the goal is, and really what we can expect to see unfold over the next several weeks here.
Absolutely. So Power 5 and Roundup, this is actually going to be the first fundraiser really ever. And it's going to be a pickleball tournament. I've only played pickleball one time, like last month. And oh my gosh, I see what the hype is. It is so fun. I mean, I'm still beginner, but it's very fun. It's the hot thing. Everybody's doing it. So we're going to do a fundraiser. It's going to be here in Midland on June 7th, which is on a Saturday. We have men's, women's, and mixed doubles. It is 18 and up only that can enter in right now. I know some of the kids are like, wait, we want to play. So that might be something we'll do down the road. Mm-hmm. We do have beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So if you're a pro, you will be with the other pros.
Yeah, we got to get in advance.
I'm a
pro.
You're a pro?
Pro. Been playing pickleball since 97.
97.
Watch out, Pickleball Hall of Fame. We got another candidate.
Oh, I know, right? And if you're a beginner, there's a spot there for you too. It's really just for a good cause, and we've had a lot of great sponsorships, and the reason for this is an opportunity to help raise funds for the programs of Power 5 and Roundup, such as the 3 C's, the Character Development Program for the youth, and then even with the sports side, we do have a lot of kids that want to play and just need help with equipment. They need certain things, mm-hmm. and that comes with the cost. So just being able to help put something together that's going to go pour back into our community and the youth. And one thing we didn't talk about, but I feel very passionate about is, I mean, even here we are having an issue with youth and just some really crazy violent things happening, and we've got to, as a community, everybody always says, oh, it's the parents. And yeah, us parents, we have a part, but as a community, we can choose to help be a part as well and try to, have, just like Power 5 or Roundup, bringing in positive outlets for these kids, to get them off the streets and doing something productive, something fun with their friends, meeting new people. And so that's just kind of the why behind the fundraiser. So we're really excited about it. It's going to be at the Summit Center, which is a new fabulous green space in Midland. It's beautiful if you haven't been out there.
Beautiful, brand new.
Yes, they have the pickleball pavilion. So it's an indoor court. I think it's like 4 or 5 courts. And
six courts.
So it's 6 indoor courts and 3 outdoor courts.
Okay, and outdoor.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. They have some retail shopping there, some restaurants, coffee shops, a really big play area for kids. So even if you don't play, still come out and support and watch, see who's going to win. Right in front of me is our trophy. John, do you want to explain what that trophy is?
The trophy. You want me to explain the trophy?
Yeah.
So hopefully y'all can see that. But the trophy is it's our crown on top of the pickleball, on top of the paddle. So we have 9 different divisions in age groups and divisions and whatnot. And so we have this will be the trophy that you'll win right here. The pickleball, the first annual.
Yeah.
Yes, and
we're first annual roundup pickleball tournament. Get that good old trophy right there and take home with you.
Yes, and have those bragging rights for next year. This is definitely something we're going to continue to do every year. So it's just an exciting time to get together for kids, raise funds, and play some pickleball.
And I'm going to throw this out there as
pickleball?
I've never played. No, in fact, a buddy of mine who I had dinner with last night, he broke his ankle last week playing. So it has a little dark stain in my mind right now.
Don't wish that on me, Ricky Bobby.
I know, for real. I just got a pain shot through my leg.
I asked him how he did it. He's like, man, I was just over competitive, and all right. So I got to get out there and give it a shot. He's been begging me to come out and play, and but I'll definitely jump in. I'm gonna throw this out as a possibility, but if this is generating the type of enthusiasm in the community, I mean, we might need to create a Power 5 league around this. And this tournament will be, similar to the NCAA tournament at the end when, we start having some real competition, and that Biggie Smalls trophy is going to it's going to mean a lot more.
Right?
No, that'll be cool, man. We did talk about on a previous episode where pickleball is the number one growing sport in America. So shoot, we can get out there and get on it.
What did I say the number one growing sport was?
Ice skating.
Boy, you said
figure skating.
It's
all right. We're rolling back with the trivia question for you. I got one for you later, man. So
not now. Hey, Mike, can we go back? You asked John a question about him being honored as far as the Hall of Fame. And what I would like to say, man, again, I have a chance to see things from behind the scenes. And I know John before he met Denise. And so I have to give her flowers because although John done all of this stuff way before he met Denise. But again, we always with Proverbs. And so one great Proverbs for a man that is married, Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receive favor from the Lord. And I like to say that once this unity of the marriage of these two, I just saw nothing but excellence come from the two of them. She has been the backbone to a very strong man. A lot of his success, I can say, is geared around her. And I've just seen what the power of what God brought together. I've seen what has happened. And I just want to say thank you for being an example for those in the community, those that know us, know you guys, and for me and my wife as well. But again, that is a jewel for you young ones out there. A man that finds a wife finds a good thing and find favor, which means the things that you do, God is going to find favor in that. So I believe that wholeheartedly.
I appreciate that, man.
Go, little jewel.
That's spoken from a true brother. And I know you guys always refer to each other as kin.
Right.
This can't be said any better. And I can attest to that too. My wife has constantly made me a better person, pushed me in a direction to be a better man. And I think all three of us are blessed to have that in our lives. But Denise, obviously the support that you have, with John personally, but obviously translating it into this community effort, that's an additional step, right? That's something beyond just your own household. Now you're bridging that out to the community. And I'm going to sort of extend what Coach A had mentioned and just see, basically how impactful that is. And we're seeing the fruits of that. We're seeing hundreds and hundreds of kids sign up for cheer or football that could otherwise be doing something they shouldn't be doing, right? This is an opportunity that is only available to them because of what the three of you are sitting there putting together here. And I think if we take a moment and we actually reflect on that, that's true community right there. That's the foundation of anything that, leads to only good. So, it's still a work in progress. I understand there's always room for growth, but, again, we look for signs on why we're on the right track. And this is, they're all around us. We just got to point them out every now and then. Okay, but I want to jump back into the pickleball tournament real quick, because I think there's another opportunity here. So we're talking about having a fun day of festivities, potentially a league for Power Five. Denise, why don't we talk about some of the marketing opportunities and some of the business venture opportunities that are also on the table here? Because not only is it, brand exposure, you have an opportunity to be out there supporting your community, but you're also being involved in this cause, which, sort of is an underlying effort of everything we've talked about today.
Yes, absolutely. We've been so blessed to already have many sponsors jump in and want to help and be a part. Yes, there is an opportunity, and thank you for having them up there. These are our sponsors we have so far. So if you'd like to join with anything we have going on, please, contact the page. Thank you on there to get on there. But you will have an opportunity to have your logo displayed during this tournament. We even have a court sponsorship. So each court will have their own business logo. So if you want to be court number 3, contact us and send us your logo and we'll get you out there. And it's just, it's about community, coming together and realizing that there are a lot of great businesses here in Midland that are doing amazing things, but they also want to pour into the next generation and help the youth and the things that we're doing, which we're so grateful for. So just all coming together, family, friends, community members, and businesses. So please, if you'd like to be a part of it, we'd love to have you. And thank you. Thank you to all our sponsors that are up there. We appreciate you.
Appreciate
you. You could almost become TikTok famous by Coach A's post too. So maybe that's an opportunity,
right?
Yeah, buddy.
No, it's great stuff. I mean, again, we talk about what value one little event can do, but the impact on this is going to stretch throughout the entire year. Right. Whatever funds are available now, it's going to segue into, better uniforms, better equipment, better field opportunities, more opportunities. Maybe we expand some leagues beyond what they already are because now we have the resources to do it. Better referees, better concessions, better merch, better websites, better everything. This is all coming around full circle, and it all is given back in some way, shape, or form. It's given back to the overall user experience and the youth experience. We want them to understand that, there is a lot of effort being put to make this opportunity available to them. And I think that this is still, an extremely valuable platform in order to make that possible.
Yes. And I just want to say this. I mean, sometimes, like Antoine was saying, being behind the scenes, some people don't know this, but these guys are constantly dreaming up the most awesome ideas for these kids in different sports. I mean, things that they see the big cities doing. And so they're constantly.
I can validate that. I get the calls at 10 o'clock at night.
Yes. And so it's just the resources, being able to have enough funding to be able to make those purchases and provide these things for these kids. So it's really exciting because that, like John said, that's what it is about, is for the kids. And giving them the best that we can give them, because the truth is they're only going to be so young for so long, and then the next generation, every year, the next group's coming up and things are changing. New things are coming in, and we want to be able to provide that for those kids as things are changing and getting even better, safer, things like that. So thank you again to our sponsors. We really, really appreciate it. We need it. And so thank you.
Throw them up one more time.
Appreciate you.
Coach Norman, what's your take on the way that, this pickleball tournament's unfolding, the sponsorship opportunities available? I mean, I know you have a lot of aces up your sleeve as far as where you see this league going and Roundup in general, not just in the Permian Basin area, but expanding well beyond that to a more nationwide presence, particularly with the 3Cs program. Each phase of this is a building block to get to that level. We've discussed many times on how possible that level is and how impactful that will be for youth sports across the nation, potentially across the world. Where does this building block fit into that plan? And, how do you see it evolving from here?
Well, shoot, without giving too much detail, I don't want to give out all the secrets now.
But I play slow.
Yeah. Man, honestly, man, I'd say this. Denise coming in and helping with a lot of these things. Because when I first started this thing, it was just me. It was just me going out there and start and then bringing Antoine on, and then Denise coming in this year, not as an employee or anything like that, but just helping more and being more involved with these things. Like you said, it's the first pickleball tournament or first fundraiser that Roundup has put on, but she is a part of that. Right. She's the one that initiated that and all of that. And so and doing all the background, the behind the scenes things. And we got some other stuff that's planned in the future and this year and for years to come. But man, it's just continuing to pour into these kids. That's the overall objective, to where, when we were young, we had mentors and coaches and teachers and things of that nature. And I was thinking about this the other day. It's crazy that, like, at the Hall of Fame ceremony, my defensive coordinator and my secondary coach were at that ceremony that coached me in high school. And, for us to still have that relationship from high school,
right?
Not a lot of people do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But to have that relationship with Coach Rat and Coach Meeks, to where I can call them anytime, or they can call me, and just having that relationship, man, that's, I want that for, all the kids we coach. You know what I'm saying? I want to be that kind of person where if they going through something or having a hard day or whatever it is, or just to call and say, "What's up, Coach, man? Just hollering at you." That's the kind of impact that I would like to lead, for these kids and everything. And so, just like you said, coming up with different ways to pour into the community, trying to do new innovative things and trying new sports. I never thought about no lacrosse. But we gonna get that lacrosse going. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, they have a game in 2 weeks, 24th, over at Reyes Mashburn Nelms. Yeah. So if anybody want to watch some lacrosse, come out there on the 24th of May, and it got some lacrosse going, man. So just all of these opportunities that we putting out there, and it's just it's more things to come.
It's a lot. I mean, I'm gonna sort of plagiarize a quote that RG3 said at his induction ceremony when he was sort of given a little bit of a recognition to some of the guys that he played youth sports with. They're always a text away, right? Like no matter what, they're a text away. And you build that rock, you build that foundation, you build that inner circle. It never goes anywhere. And they were sitting there front and center with him as he was getting that honor as well.
Right.
So before we wrap this up, I'll be remiss if I know we've been teasing this for the last couple episodes, but we got to bring back the trivia. And this one's for Coach A. And it is sort of relative to our topic today. Come on, Coach. You got to know this one, Coach A. I mean, like this is your wheelhouse too. So today's question: how many Red Raiders from Texas Tech have been inducted into the Professional Football Hall of Fame?
Professional football.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
In the NFL.
I'm
You're giving it.
I'm gonna say maybe two, maybe one or two, because I got Zach Thomas. Yeah, let's go one. Oh,
It's 2.
EJ, it's 2.
I found one.
EJ Hollup didn't make it.
I think EJ in there.
Man, you need to go back and
I could
Hold
be
on.
wrong.
he was before Google and Yahoo. Matter of fact, and before AOL.
No, I think he in there, though.
Please look that up because he was on. He played both sides of the ball.
Yeah, he was All-American or All-Pro on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Zach
EJ Holub.
ringing that bell.
EJ, boy, he used to be at our games at Tech, boy. He be in there.
You can't say what he said, Coach Norman.
Nah, I can't
I
say
don't-
what he said.
I don't think
Well, you got
he's.
Zach Thomas.
Yeah,
Who is Zach Thomas? What position did he play?
he was a linebacker from old Pampa, Texas.
Yeah, buddy. You don't know Zach Thomas?
Zach Thomas. You know,
He was inducted into several Hall of Fames, including the Texas Tech Hall of Fame, Texas High School Hall of Fame in 1987. So, John, you're in that spotlight with him there.
Yeah.
Southwest Conference Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was in the Chiefs Ring of Honor, the Kansas City Chiefs Ring of Honor, but I don't believe he was in the Professional Football Hall of Fame.
Really?
That's interesting. He probably need to be.
He's coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to nominate him. So can I get a 0.5? I should be in the lead by 0.5.
Well, you technically got it right. John was the one who was saying there was 2.
Yeah. Hey, see. Now, what was the Proverbs?
Lying. Lying.
For no reason. Lying if the truth is better.
Boy, I tell you.
Oh man. All right. Well, we're gonna bring this one to a close. We're gonna throw this one back up here one more time for the Pickleball Tournament sponsorship opportunities. It's power5sportsleague.org/sponsorship. There are limited sponsorship opportunities available for this one. But of course, in the whole Power 5 ecosystem, there are definitely opportunities for sponsorships, not only in specific sports, but for the overall league itself. Any closing remarks? Denise, this has been, amazing for you to join us here today. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add as far as, the tournament itself, the sponsorship opportunities, or, just again, something that about the Hall of Fame or opportunities with that?
I'm just grateful to be here. I do have a job.
So she got to go.
People always ask me, they're like, do you work? I do work. So I'm grateful to just be here with you two. Antoine has been an amazing asset to Power 5. His knowledge, him working directly with kids has been such a great thing for the league. So thank you. You and your wife just really pouring into the kids in another way has been amazing to see. John, just everything that you continue to do with this has been really exciting to just watch it grow. Mike, thank you for coming to the Hall of Fame. That was amazing. You brought your beautiful family. So that was so.
I gotta steal 2 seconds here, or else I'll get yelled at later. But
hey, there it is.
It was amazing to be a part of all that, and my family loved every second of it. John, they were super honored to be there. My little guy was running around with RG3's kids, and my daughter was running around with them too. Like, they had a blast out in the hallway. But overall, man, it was really an honor to be a part of that with you guys, and obviously see you again. I mean, I know we saw each other in December, but it feels almost forever ago. And it was good to be in great state of Texas this time.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you coming, man. It was and then Mike had a little excerpt in the book that he did about Power 5. So yeah, we're appreciative of that, man. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
For the record, I ran out of space on your stats. Coach A, you're in there too, man. I don't know if you caught that, but I gave you a little name drop in there as well as part of that track team.
Oh, well, appreciate it. I still blame us not winning to John. Why? Because he went all out in the 300 hurdles in the individual event when he knew he had 3 other people counting on him.
He was tired.
Yeah, what I didn't figure out, I've just been mad at you. I've been mad at you for throughout this whole thing. You know,
Here comes the
like, you know what I
truth.
mean?
Here comes the truth.
Okay, yeah.
No,
let's stop lying and go and bring it on.
That's for a whole nother segment or another show.
Yeah, they need to bring the Fab Five for that show. That's really
That,
good.
or we need to
That would
bring
be a
his
great
cousin,
show.
JR, so we can really let everybody know what happened.
All right, gentlemen, any final comments, or we're going to end it off on that one?
I want to say this real quick. Speaking of EJ earlier, to this date, EJ Holub remains the only player in history to start 2 Super Bowls at 2 different positions. He retired from he retired from football following one final knee injury early in training camp in 1971.
So hang on, was it 2 different positions on the same side of the ball, or offense and defense?
Offense and defense.
He was a cold man. As a matter of fact, I think
he played center and defensive tackle.
Yeah,
center.
I think he went out with an old school Marlboro. You know, hey, yeah, he was rough.
Yeah, one of Joe Cool.
Hey, Joe, yeah. Hey, this was all man. I mean, he was something else. If you messed up, he's not even part of the coaching staff. If you messed up, come to the sideline, he'll be the first one to greet you with what you didn't do right.
Yeah, I miss EJ, man. He passed away in 2019, man. Shout out to his wife, Miss Sandy.
Yes, Miss Sandy.
But yeah, EJ, he was a good dude.
Yep, and another Texas Tech, Texas High School Hall of Fame inductee, right? You know, it's Red Raiders representing there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop some comments in. You know, I'm still waiting for some stumpers to throw at Coach A. So if you have any trivia questions, drop them in there. You can look up the fall football and cheer registration continues at the power5sportsleague.org website. Spots are filling up quick, so make sure you reserve it for your team. Get in touch with your AD if you have any questions. The Roundup Pickleball Tournament open for registration. Sponsorship opportunities available. Limited sponsorship opportunities available there. So make sure you jump on that. Once again, phenomenal episode, gentlemen. Denise, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to part ways here.
In here, baby.
This was all John's idea, by the way. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.